Welkom bij de Corine van Zoelen podcast, jouw wekelijkse kijk op een nieuwe wereld. Met vandaag een opname uit de Taowisdom podcast waarin ik geïnterviewd word over human design in mijn beste Engels. In deze podcast hoor je een opname van de Taowisdom podcast van Sabine Poltermann. In haar podcast behandelt ze spirituele groei en genezing en deelt ze ook haar inzichten die zij heeft gedaan vanuit de Akasha-chronieken. Ze behandelt eigenlijk hoe je ook fysiek, mentaal en spiritueel in balans kunt blijven. En dat is dan ook een van de redenen waarom ze mij heeft geïnterviewd over human design. Omdat human design een heel belangrijk onderdeel is om bij jezelf te blijven en om eigenlijk te doen waar je voor gemaakt bent en waar je hiervoor op aarde bent. Als iedereen zijn potentieel zou leven vanuit zijn blauwdruk, vanuit de human design, zou de wereld er echt een stuk beter uitzien. Nou, in deze podcast, die overigens in het Engels is, weet je ook gewoon meer over dus die spirituele groei. En behandelt zij ook verschillende zaken. En Sabine zelf geeft dus reiki-behandelingen en doet Akasha-readingen. Mocht het zijn, als je meer wil weten over Sabine of over haar podcast, check dan de show notes pagina www.corinevanzoelen.nl/podcast-204. Mocht het zijn als je meer wil weten over human design, check dan ook mijn website corinevanzoelen.nl voor een persoonlijke reading of voor de afstemchallenge. Dat is een online programma waarbij ik je allerlei dingen leer over human design. Ik wens je heel veel luisterplezier.
Welcome back on my show. Thanks so much for listening. And today I have a guest on the show. I'm interviewing Corine van Zoelen about human design. Yes, I'm so excited about this. Now, Corine really is a pioneer. She is a quite well-known figure in the Netherlands in the yoga and also in the spiritual entrepreneur world. She taught yoga teachers, she's teaching yoga teachers how to do business online, and she did it way before Corona hit. Before 2020, she's really a pioneer in that. And then when 2020 hit, a lot of yoga teachers learned so much from her how they can move their business online. And she's now involved in bringing entrepreneurs together to create sort of the fifth dimensional business landscape in a way. So looking at questions, how are we doing business on an ascended earth in a fifth dimensional space? So moving away from scarcity, moving away from competition, and looking at working together, looking at working from understanding of abundance, etc., etc. So again, she's a pioneer here, and she's doing really beautiful work in that field. And we go back, we both did training for Do-In Meridian Yoga with Lilian Klauwers in the Netherlands. And we both also have a connection to Turkey. So Corine, I think she worked a little bit in Turkey. She also loves, I think I just read on her Facebook that it's her dream to work and live there one day. And my husband is Turkish. I spent a lot of time there also, and I love Turkey. It's a beautiful country, beautiful people, and a lot of places of high vibration. So we go back there. And today we are talking about human design. Now, I wanted to bring this to you because I absolutely love human design. I think it is so helpful to know your human design chart. And this was my year 7 in numerology, and year 7 is all about getting to know yourself, introspective. And I was really getting deep into everything this year to understand myself. So into like journaling, into astrology, into numerology. into the Akashic records, into my work of my ancestors, and also into human design. And from all of these systems that I looked at, human design just blew my mind. It blew my mind. How accurate it is and how much information you can get out of understanding your human design chart. Not just like how you energetically operate, because human design takes into account that we are energetic beings and that we operate in certain ways, we engage in certain ways with the energy, with the emotions of others. So you get a lot of information on that from your human design chart. But you also get to see your gifts, what makes you so unique. What is it that is your strength, your power? That is just what are you bringing to this life? Plus, it tells you your mission on this planet. And it just blows me away how accurate it tells a mission of a person. You just have to look it up. It's all there in human design. And so much more. It is just amazing. Plus, I had the founder of Human Design, I'm going to talk about this in the interview. He came through in my records and he said, I need to go deep in this. This is just, for me, I need to share this more with the world. I need to also go deeper in this to help others to understand themselves, but also to understand myself. So we are talking all about human design today with Corine. She's using it for her own work. She also did some courses on human design. She's using it to support entrepreneurs to basically really get aligned to their own mission and then to build their business based on their mission, but also based on how they operate in terms of energy, right? How much energy do you have in a day? Like what trains you? What actually fills you up? How do you follow your intuition? How do you follow your messages that are coming down through your lines, through your Akashic records? Like all of this. So it's very exciting. Now, before we get into the interview, this is the almost last podcast episode for this year. There is one more episode coming out on I think on the 30th or 31st of December. And that episode has my channeled forecast for 2023. And it is a very beautiful episode where I do some ceremony together with you to close off 2022. And then I have the Akashic Record channeling in there. And then I'm going to analyze and talk a little bit more about what came through in the channeling. So I hope you tune in for that one as well. And it's also setting the stage of the journey I'm taking you on for 2023. We will be on a journey together on my podcast in 2023. I'm so excited. We will go deep into womb healing together in 2023 on my podcast. This is not just for women, this is also for men. This is an energy that connects us to our creativity, connects us to our ability to give life, to create, to our sexual energy, etc. So we're going to go on a deep healing journey together. I'm very excited about this. But now, without further ado, let's get into my conversation with Corine. Hello, welcome to a new episode. And today I have the honor to interview in person, actually, which is really nice, Corine van Zoelen about human design. So let me introduce Corine first. She is a coach for the New World entrepreneurs. She knows a lot actually about online business. She used to coach yoga entrepreneurs about how you put your business online, etc. And now she's doing that for people who want to be part of the new world, something I'm talking about a lot on this podcast too. So we will cover that in a bit as well. Welcome, Corine, first.
Yeah, thank you to be welcome in your podcast show.
Yes, and actually Corine and me go back sometime. We both did the same do-in courses with Lillian Clowers in Leiden, which is really nice. And actually I realized on the drive here, Corine, I realized that you were a huge part in my awakening. Because in 2021 you shared a video from your friend Ira which I then watched, and she was talking about the Akashic Records, and I was like, I've never heard of this.
Oh, really?
And then I started to Google the Akashic Records, and I found Ashley from ALN Within, which I later did the Akashic Record course with. I went to a retreat with her, and I did her course, Know Your Soul, in that year, and that was my grand awakening. Like, I got so much information in that course. I was like, so I have a lot actually to thank to you, Corine.
Oh, that's nice to hear, because, you know, from April 2020, I was also speaking and saying, like, this is strange, or, you know, asking questions, and people were angry at me, and but also people said, oh, thanks for sharing, because they were very afraid about saying the things that they want. But for me, it was like, I have doubt about some things, and I only ask questions, you know. So that's it. That cannot be wrong, I think, because you learn, children, also to ask questions in school. Yeah. And but not everybody was happy with that, and I felt alone in that part. And thank God, Ira also thought the same about it. And I also introduced her in my podcast, and we did like webinars to explain what's going on, what the shift from the earth where we are in.
Yes.
And so many people also were afraid to look to our webinars, because then they write subscribe for it, and then they said, oh no, I'm not going to look because I'm afraid of what you are going to tell in the webinar, like that.
Yes.
But and now people said, many times I hear now what you say, oh, thanks to you, it was my awakening.
Yes, so...
But at that time, you don't know like that. The only thing I could do is to listen to my heart and to my feelings, and that I thought, this is not right, what's going on here, and I have to speak out. That's it. And even if everybody says you will lose customers, or what are you doing, you're an entrepreneur, but I thought, I must do it for myself. So that's it. And finally, then there came also other entrepreneurs, not only yoga teachers, but also coaches, masseurs, therapists, who said, oh, I really think the same like you, and can you also learn me how to make an online course?
Yes, yeah.
So I think when you stay with yourself, then also your energy will change, and you will attract the people who belongs to you.
Yes, and today we're actually talking about how to stay with yourself by knowing your human design.
Yes,
because I had my Akashic Records being read by someone, and in the beginning there was this whole voice speaking without me asking any question, and then the reader asked, who is speaking now? And then the person said, it's like who, and I didn't know any about this, and later we looked it up, and it's the founder of Human Design. And then I asked more about Human Design in subsequent Akashic Record readings, and they told me, you need to go really deep into this. And I saw Corine sharing on it on her Instagram profiles, and I was like, I need to interview her.
And here you are.
Yes, and here I am.
Yeah.
So and we need to share this with the world, because it's an amazing tool. I've dived deep into it now, or deeper into it now, and we're going to analyze a bit my profile today. So for you to understand what it is, what it basically means. But I love to use it. And do you want to say something about, Corine, what is actually human design?
Yeah, it's always difficult to explain, but it's like the astrology you have, and it's the I Ching and the Kabbalah and the chakra knowledge, and it's a combination of it. And what you say, it's like Ra Uruhu. And he had in 1987, he had like a mystical experience where he heard a voice, and then for 8 days and nights he got all the information and he wrote it down, and that's what the human design is. And it's about 9 centra in your body, and it's depends on the planets, how they were when you were born, and 3 months before you were born.
Yes.
So in your chart, so that's why when you want to know your chart, you have to know the birth date, of course. Most people know that. But also the time. And when you don't know the time, it's on your birth certificate, so you can ask it at the town hall.
Yeah.
And or maybe in the book, you have the wedding book from your parents. It's also sometimes written in.
Oh, yeah.
Everybody says, I'm going to call my mother. But I think, I don't know exactly for my children, so how would my mother know after 50 years?
But you know what a friend of mine did? I found it so amazing. She didn't know herself as well for her parents, and she used the pendulum. And she really did by the hour. She knew the day, and then by the hour she asked the pendulum, like, was it between 5 and 7? Was it between 7 and 9? And she got very accurate information. And I was like, wow. But yeah.
Yeah, I know one person, and she was a projector, or she was a reflector. And reflector is only 1% of the population is a reflector, and it was like 1 minute difference. So for her, it was very important to know what she was. So then she went to somebody, and I think that person is not living anymore, but she had to give all her special highlights from her life. When she met her husband, when she got married, when she got her children. Yes. And then he counted back what was the real exact birth time for her. And when she was born 1 minute earlier, then she was like total different type. But also then she would not have 2 girls, but she would have 2 boys.
Ah, interesting.
So it's really exactly written in your human design what will happen. It's really a blueprint of your life.
Yeah. And it's so spot on because, I'm like exploring all these spiritual concepts, and I'm taking them to my husband, who is intuitive but not in the spiritual world, and he often does whatever. And I took human design to him and read to him his gifts, and he was like, what is this? This is exactly describing me to the dot. Like, what is this? This is human design.
Yeah. It's really amazing. And also what I found out, like, for me, when I'm doing the things, it's always like complicated. But I saw you also have it because you have the 3, so it's the trial and error. And I also have the 3. I have the 1, 3. So the 1 is the who is observing everything and looking down under in the basement. Yes. And the 3 is when you compare it to the house. And when the 3 is on the stairs from the basement to the first floor, to the main floor, and then fall down and go up again and fall down. So that's the 3. And I always, when I want to do something new, it will take me like half a year before I found out. And for normal people, it will be like a straight road, and for me, it's like going left, right, and finally, I also will be there, but it's more difficult. But now with the human design, I found out that's my way of learning things, and because I'm learning it by the trial and error, I can also help other people when they want to do something, and then I can say, okay, you can do that, but know that this can happen. Yes. And so I can guide them better because of the 3 in my profile.
Yeah, and that's maybe also why you are a coach, no? Because that makes an excellent coach.
Yeah, and what I also have, but you also have it, is in the G center. I have a lot of gates. So, and that's the richtingwijzer. Yeah. So it shows you the way where you have to go. Yes. So it shows my way where I have to go. So I feel what I have to do here, but I also can feel it for somebody else. So when I'm with them, then your charge will come together. So when I'm talking to you, then you feel my energy and I feel your energy, and that's always I feel the energy of the other. But now I know from human design that I can have ideas popping up in my head, and I can tell them, oh, you can do this or you can do that, and then they say, oh, that's a good idea. Or the people have ideas because they're listening to me. Yes. And that's because of the G Center, and I didn't know like that. I was always popping the ideas, and then my colleagues always said, oh, now what we have to do now again? She finds out something, we have extra work to do. But now the coaches now are happy with all my ideas because it helped them with their business.
Yes, it's also true for me. And sometimes I ask myself, all the ideas that I have, are they really for me or are they for others? And now I'm starting to discern more and think like, okay, this is maybe just for me to tell someone else.
Yeah.
Like, you can be doing that. It's going to be successful.
Yeah, but also you have also open head and open ashna, so the mind and ashna. So I also thought that all the ideas were for me. And now I know, also thanks to human design, it's not only for me, I can share it. Because I don't have to do this idea. It's better for them to do the idea because they have the qualities of that on that. So everybody has his own quality, and that's also where the human design is for. They explain like when you have the darms,
the intestines.
And when you are a cell of that, you do the job for that, but you don't do the job for the heart, or you don't do the job as a cell from the lungs. So every cell has its own spot in the body, and that's the same with human design. So every person in the world is here with his own blueprint, and even if you are born on the same time, then you are born on a different place. Or even when you are a twin, then you're not born on the same time. There's also a difference in time. So your design is different. So when you are here and you do the things where you are born for, and if it's a cell for the heart or a cell of the lungs, and you are on your spot, that's where you're good at, then everybody will do the things where he's good at and what he loves, and not the things they don't love. Because when you are at school, and we talked about it when you have dyslexia, my son had dyslexia, and then every time he has to read at school, and we had to practice also at home, but I didn't want to do it. I was also a teacher, and I thought he will learn by himself. You know, the most important thing is that he can read a little bit so he can manage himself when he's an adult, but when something is really interesting, he will find out like that. And now he's almost 20 years. He learned reading from the Donald Duck, and that's with capital letters, not small letters, which you learn when you are little. But now he's learning so much from English listen books. And so he's working on his mindset with it. He learns very much from YouTube because he's dyslexic. He will see it and then he will recognize it. And so I think everybody has his own way, and also that's in the design. Everybody has doing his life in his own way. And also when you are an entrepreneur, you know, like when you are a manifesting generator, you are really a total different entrepreneur than when you are a projector.
And that I find so interesting. So that these 4 different main types, right, of how you use your energy and how you should respond to stimulation and to ideas in life. And we are both manifesting generators, right? So we should actually not go out in the world and be like, this is what I'm going to do, this is the exact plan. We should kind of wait for things to come to us and then say, yes, this is what I'm going to do, or this not. And often we are told, right, everywhere you're being told, like, you need to go out, you need to make it happen, you need to have a very detailed plan for everything, right? But
they always say also, like, you make, like an entrepreneur, you make a plan, ondernemersplan. I never made it. So I'm only doing the things I love. That's also what is in my design. When you do the things you like and you love, then it will come to you. So I thought, oh, how nice is it? And I'm also always doing like that, you know. I'm also in my job when I had to do something which I didn't like, or I thought, no, I don't want to do this. I was also like a rep in Turkey, so that's why I speak Turkish. And then I had to sell like the Jeep Safari. But I didn't like to sell the Jeep Safari because there was so much accidents with it. So I didn't tell about it. So when people asked, do you also have Jeep Safari? I said, oh yeah, you can also do it. But I didn't tell it by myself. And I think when you stay with yourself and with your own feeling, then you will attract the right people. And I also always have like that like what I say, in 2020 I started to tell about what you can do to do online yoga classes so your business can be open and you don't have to give the money back. So I give a free webinar of it, and people did it in 1 week. Everybody was online.
Yes.
But I started in 2015 and I was like, how can I give a webinar? Which webinar is when you have when it's on demand, then still the video is there, because normally you only saw the PowerPoint when you have the opname.
Yes.
And now you can and then not the video. So I thought, I have to have a webinar program where you can also on the video when you see me, because I give the yoga class, and I had to do a good microphone and a good webcam. And so I was busy for half a year to arrange everything that it was really okay. But I needed that stuff. That's the 3, the trial and error. So I could explain then later on in 2020 how they could do it. And like giving a webinar or Zoom is like a very small piece of the online business, because there is so much possible online.
Yes, definitely. And I also now I use it for my kids to really understand how they use their energy, and for me to not push them. Like, I have a little manifesting generator like me, and I know he has a lot of energy. He's going to try a lot of different activities. And then I have a projector child who has he's more there to really observe people, and since a little age he is really standing at the playground and observing everyone, and then he needs more time to rest. And when he's now saying, for instance, I'm too tired to go to soccer, or I'm just not, I don't push him, because I know actually he feels that he needs time to just rest and recharge. And
a projector needs more time to recharge in his own energy. And it's also good that they sleep alone because the energy of the manifesting generator can be very overwhelming for them.
Interesting.
And also for the generators. Manifesting generators, they have lots of energy. So that's nice for me, but also the generators. And also for the manifesting generator, it's so interesting. You said you have to wait for it, but I have an idea, I think about it, I throw it out, and then it comes back and people say, oh, it's nice, I'm interesting, and I think, okay, so I will do it then. But when there's no response, I'm not doing it. So, but sometimes people are busy with making their plan or program or course or whatever, and in detail, and then they are going to sell it, for example, and then it will not be sold. So then it's not nice for your time you spend on it. So, and I think I throw it out, and I will see if people are interested, yes or no, and then I will spend my time of making it.
Interesting, But for me, it's also, I have vague ideas around things I want to do, and then I kind of wait, sort of, if something comes back in,
in response.
In response to that vague idea, and then you can go more in detail. Do you want to get to know yourself? Do you want to understand what is your purpose in life? What are your talents? And why are you here? And what does your soul wants to bring forward in this life? Now, get my new product, Know Yourself. This is a one-in-a-kind service where I analyze your human design profile, your numerology profile, your birth chart in Western and Vedic astrology, and I also read from your Akashic records to answer some of the most important questions in this lifetime around what are your biggest gifts, what are the fears that are holding you back, and how can you follow your purpose and live a soul-aligned life. You can book the service on my website, Taowisdom.net. The other thing I love, and maybe we can look at my chart, is the key. What is it called? The something with destiny. Like the four main gates.
Incarnation cross.
Yeah, the incarnation cross. Yeah.
Because I also have that, but maybe it's interesting also because you said you have the main things. Now you have then the manifestors.
Yeah.
And when you have a manifestor child, it's really for parents difficult sometimes to raise them because they already said, I want to do it by myself, like that.
Yeah.
So, and then 9% is manifestor. Then you have the manifesting generators and generators. Sometimes they belong together. So the generators are more the working bees. They like to work. That's their fulfillment. And it's 37%. And 33% is the manifesting generator, just like us.
Yeah.
So we think about it, and we have the energy to put it.
Yes.
And the manifestors also have the energy to manifest things, but they have less energy to make it by themselves. And when the manifestor is also they are so far before, so like the person who made the World Wide Web, so the internet, he's a manifestor. So at that time nobody will be open for it. Yes. And so that's why they have so many ideas. They want to put the things there, but they have to make sure that they will take people with them in their journey.
Yes, I see. What about, but then big entrepreneurs, like for instance, if you think of Elon Musk, are they then more like, what do you think, they're generators or they're like more manifestors?
Yeah, I don't know what he is, but I think because he is typical, so I think manifesting generator or maybe a manifestor, because he's doing like strange things, like with the electric car, with like the satellites, the artificial intelligence. That's things where we not. Then they walk in the front.
Yes, they walk in the front, sort of the manifestors. Yeah,
and they are. I don't know if he's a manifestor, but it could be. And the manifesting generators also walk in the front, but not really in the front. And generators, they work, and the rest they think, oh yeah, it's okay, and then they will follow. Yes, and I always have that people follow me. First they ignore me. Gandhi says like that. First they ignore you, then they
they buy into your wisdom at some point.
I don't know. They ignore me, then they are angry, or then they follow me. It's always like that. So it's really funny.
I also find reflectors and what is the last one?
Projectors. So reflector is only 1%. It's like they are here to be the mirror for you. So they're reflecting. And the reflector is totally empty. So there's no centra defined in English.
Defined.
So they're all empty. And but then it's also when you are together with somebody else and you get the energy of the other. So when the reflector is at the generator, it will get the energy of the generator. It will be the generator. So if you don't like the reflector, you actually don't like yourself.
Interesting.
It's really interesting because I have also one reflector. I helped her with her business, and I know that somebody else said to me, I don't like her. And I thought, I really like her. How is it possible, that you don't like her? And then later, I found out that of the reflector. So it says more about that person than it was about the reflector, like that. And the projector is also have less energy, so they have to get energy from themselves. And for the reflector, it's also good to sleep alone because otherwise they have all night the energy of their partner. And for the reflector, it's good to make decisions by the moon. So when they want to do something, they have to wait like 28 days, and then they make the decision. And for the projector, they will be asked for something. So I know a projector who was doing a job interview. They said no, and after that he was called by that company and they said, we have another job, and we think that's better for you. And then he's still there. So you will always be asked, and then that's okay. So also one woman I know, she was asking for reclam because she wanted to do something in a reclam, and then they said no, but I will ask you for another reclam. I will think about you. And she said, I know it will be like that. And now I understand also that that's right, because it's all my life it's like that. I want to do something, they say no, I get disappointed, and then later the same people ask me again for something else. And now she sees the
pattern in it. That's actually how her design works. And the projectors, aren't they also just analyzing situations and then knowing how to do them better?
The projectors, they more like the observer, and they think like, oh, this can be better like that. They can do like good projects. They lead the projects, and but for them it's good to let the other one work. So not do the work by themselves, because their energy is lower.
So they're better like really at coaches, at guides. And I was really thinking of a lot of the children now that I think they will create a different world than what we have now.
We have much manifesting generators were born last year. I think there was a period for 7-8 months. And in that period, all the children who were born were manifesting generators.
Interesting.
And in 2027 is a very special year in human design. Because when you also look at the human design app, it's counting down to 2027. And they will say that we were like totally different. We have a different DNA. All the humanity.
Which goes along with a lot of spiritual concepts too.
So it's really interesting to be alive in this
in this time. It's really
in this time, and everybody says, "Oh, it's horrible," blah blah blah. Yeah, it is horrible, but it's also where you put your energy on.
Yes, exactly.
And
what
it's on the right frequency. And that's what I also say for the new world, you know? The new world is already there, but you must see it. And I think that's the reason why we are with so much yoga teachers, coaches, therapists, because we are here to make to build the new world and to be there for the people who are not ready for it at this moment, who not see it.
We don't see it. Like I love this time. I think it's very exciting.
I think also as a soul we choose to be here at this moment.
Exactly.
And all the things I've done in my life, it comes together now. So I think it's I worked in tourism, and so I learned to arrange things. I worked as a teacher, so I learned how to make a lesson, you know. And that's also when I doing the yoga. Then I came in the yoga scene, and then I went to become the yoga business coach. And so in my network, there's so much spiritual entrepreneurs. And they. We are here together, and I think it's not coincidence that they are in my network, and they are good in what they do, but they think it's difficult to put their company out, like, oh, look what I'm doing, because that doesn't belong to them, and I can help them to do it with a smooth way, that you are not to look at your human design, like be who you are, be that hard sell on the right spot, and people will find you on that frequency, because everything will be on the frequency where we are going to the new world. And so you will find the right persons, and the person will find you. And when you know I'm the manifesting generator, it's a different way of finding your customers than when you are a projector.
Yes, and that I find so exciting to start following your guidance in that way, you know, and thinking, okay, am I a projector or manifesting generator, and then do the things accordingly.
So you can look to the type, you can look to your profile. So for you it's the 3 and the 5. So the trial and error for the 3 and the 5 is that you are a mentor. So it's like a normal mentor, you can help other people, and your definition is a single definition. So it means that the centra which are in your chart, they are connected with each other. Sometimes you have also split definition, then you have 2 centra connected with each other, and another 2 centra. but they are not connected with each other. So then you're like the one thing you think, oh, I'm going to do this, and then you think, oh, I'm not going to do that. So then it's like two islands in your body who
like
a balance. So that, and you have also like a triple split. So then you think 3 times, and you also have like a quadruple. That's 4% who has that. And then it's almost everything is filled in because you have 2, or 3. And then you know already everything because all the knowledge is already in you because all the centra are then full. And then it's also very difficult when you are a child and you are a quadruple split because then you think, what are they saying about the Egyptians and the pyramids? It's not true. You feel it's not true. So, and then you have your inner authority, and for you it's that your sacral, so your belly, you will feel if it's right or wrong, if you have to do it, yes or no. And everybody has like a different authority also. Somebody have better spleen, so the Meld, the intuition. Another has to do with the heart or with the G center, or they have to find out they have no inner authority. And they have to do it with the pendula or with the tarot card, like that. They will find there the information from. So, and then you also will find out what's your strategy, what you have to do in your life and in your business. And now you were talking about the incarnation cross, because when you have your chart on the left side, there's your design chart. That's like red numbers. That's 3 months before you were born and where the planets are at that moment. And you have your personality chart numbers, and that's on the moment you were born. So this is where you are conscious about. And this, the design, so 3 months before, is unconscious part. So, and then you can see in your chart like the canals. You have the gates where what's open when you were born, and you have like a canal. So when it's a black canal, it's because that's a number on your right side. And when it's a red, then it's on the left side on your
design. So it's unconscious. But you're kind of being subconsciously, it's driving your life.
But then you don't know. You don't know about it. And when sometimes you have kind of like red and black, and then it's on both sides. So you will see here it's on both sides, the 34, for example. So that's what it. And then on the above, zeg maar, you have the right angle cross of the vessel of love. That's what you are, because you have 15, 10, 25, and the 46. And it's because of the planets, the sun and the earth. So the 15 and the 10, it's on your personality side, so on what you know about it. And 25, 46 is your unconscious, is on your design chart. And when I'm looking for the right angle cross of the vessel of love, because I'm
all about love.
All about love. And I have it here. You are afraid now, eh? No,
I'm not afraid. No.
Okay, because it's written, born as the vessel of love, you are here to bring people into the flow in a loving way. All 4 of the gates of your cross are connected to the G identity center. That's on the yellow center in the middle, so what will lead the way. It's on a deeper level, connection to the soul, love of spirit, love of the flesh, love of the self, and love of humanity are the 4 energies that make up this cross. With the energy of this cross, humanity leads the way for you. This is about getting people into the flow of love for themselves, each other, and love of humanity.
It's a lot of love.
It's a lot of love, exactly. So, did you know about the right angle cross of the vessel of love? Or
when I looked it up a couple of months ago, yes. But it's still for me like it's something to read it, right? And then to kind of reflect back on your life, like how are you actually living that?
And also you can look at the gene keys, because in the gene keys is also written like what's your purpose, eh? Your deepest purpose in life is to manifest the gift of delight And to realize my purpose, I need to transform the shadow of seriousness. Because in every gate, you have like a sun part and a shadow part. Yeah. And the shadow part is not it's not bad. Because, but when you know about the shadow part, you can work on it, and then it will be brighter. You know, for example, the 18 you have on the left side in yours, it's plain. From the intuition, it's the good part is you want to make a better world, but the shadow part is that we make some rules in this world, and everybody has to listen to the rules, because otherwise we will not have a good world. So it can be that you will say to people like, hey, you dropped the paper on the ground, so pick it up and throw it in the garbage, because we want to make a new world. But for another one can think like, don't interfere with my life, I want to do what I want, you know. So they can see that like it's like the shadow part. So my husband also had like that, and he was police officer, not anymore now, but when he was younger. And so also when he was not working, then he was saying to people, hey, don't do that. So, and I thought, you're not working. So I really felt it like his shadow, like stop it, you know. Yes. But the sun side is he wants to make a better world.
Yeah, the intention is. I think it's good to be, as you said, aware about your intention, but then at the same time about the shadow. Like, I shouldn't be bossing people around.
So I don't know if you recognize it with
my
that
kids,
18.
certainly. You need to clean up now.
Yeah, exactly. And when you see also with the gene keys, and it's also very interesting, you have then your life's work. So what are you here to do for your evolution? So what you are here to learn, your radiance, what keeps you healthy, and your purpose. So what you deeply fulfills you. And that's also very interesting also with the gene keys. And then you will have the same numbers as with the human design. But it's you go more deep and you make I did like guiding and also coaching with this, and then you will find out from your purpose, and you will walk actually to your childhood, and when you are like teenager to your pearl. So what are you here to do for? So you're so that's really interesting. And
how are the gene keys connected to human design? Is that something that came like later, or is it just like a more deep dive into human design?
Yeah, it's totally different from each other, but exactly also the same. So, but they say it's different, but I think like the gene keys is more going further. You know, I have different books, and I also have like the book of the human design, and then it's written pieces about a gate. But it tells exactly, it tells some things about the gate, but then still it's very little. So same like when you do like the for the horoscope, and I'm Scorpio, then what they say about the Scorpio is also like total for everybody, you know. That's same like what in the book is of the human design, I think. And here in this book is written then affirmations and writing assignments, what you can do for that gate. And but when you look to the gene keys, then you will see much more, because then when you have the gate over there, the gene keys, then they will see, okay, this is the shadow, and this is what representative nature of this. This is your reactive nature. This is the secrets of that art of that gate, and this is your the city, the purity of your gate. So you go deeper and deeper in, and when you read it now, or when you read it after a half year, then you read with different things, because it's more like a Bible. So I think the gene keys is, they say it's like brother and sister, but the gene keys is much more deeper.
Yeah, deeper.
You dive deeper.
Yeah, and just for the listeners, I'm going to put a link in the show notes where you can get a free chart for human design as well as a gene key chart. And the gene keys, because when I looked at mine, I had like the 4 gates from the incarnation course. But are you also looking up all the other gates that are defined in a human design in gene key, or is it just those 4 usually?
It's exactly what you want to do. So when you can look everything up in the gene keys if you want. And also, for example, you have here 34 on your design and on your personality. Then you can look, where's the 34? Or that you can do like you have a human design app.
Yes.
And then you can see like, sun is this week in this gate. What will do it with me? When you are a reflector, then it's good to check the moon, but otherwise it's good to check the for example, the sun, and also to see what's the energy of today. What will it do with me?
Yeah, so it's very similar to astrology in that sense. And that app, I think we're having the same, right?
I don't know. It's a human design app.
Yeah, I'm not sure, but I'm also having one, and it's I love it because it has so many tips. Like you get daily tips as your design. This is like about how you deal with or how you think about your upbringing. Or how you parent your kids, or other things as well. Like
and same like when you have connected with each other, you take each other's charts. So then you can see like, that's why I like it to be with this person, because we make a connection and we make this canal, and then we have both these centra defined, and that's why I don't like that person, because of she's in my allergic field of like that. So that's interesting for your partner, but also with your children, and also because I'm working with different virtual assistants, that I also thought like I needed a personal assistant, a PA to manage all the VAs. So, and then I was having an interview with the lady, and I said, because I thought, I don't think I must do it, so I'm not sure. And then I asked her birth date and time, and then I checked her human design, and I thought, no, when I'm going to work with her, it will be better for her to work with me than for me to work with her. So that's why I didn't do the...
So how do you put 2 charts on top of each other?
Yeah, you can do it in the human design app.
Okay.
And then you can see what the connection is, but you can do it so with the daily, so with the transitions of the day. But you can also do like make a composite together with somebody else.
Yeah, and then you basically look, when you put them on top of each other, you look if you have similar channels defined, and similar gates defined, or if you have other areas that are totally
different. So I can show you your chart, because it's I put it here in my app. Takes a long time. And when I'm so you see, here's the energy of today.
Yes.
And in the energy of the day, there's now in the mind, so above, and the ashna is denied, defined.
Yeah.
Every time I'm looking for the word. And the rest is empty. So you don't have it in your mind and in your ashna, and I also don't have so. But today we will have a fixed ID because of this. So that's good. And then I will...
And it's so interesting because I was watching astrology forecast about now the... eclipses, and he was talking all about that the mind is right now so activated, and this is also what the energy shows there, right?
Yeah,
that the mind center is activated.
Exactly. So this is your chart, and then I check like the overlay of the transits, and then you can see what's different now, so that this is full. You see, so the ashna and the mind now is full. But when you compare it with me, so when we make a composition with me, then this we are together. So when you have look to your heart center, your heart center is empty. My heart center is empty. But when we are together, it's full. And your emotions is empty, my emotions is empty. But when we are together, the emotions is full.
And what does it mean then?
Yeah, that we can have emotions. We can cry. No, but somebody when we have the emotions empty, but when we are with somebody who is having the emotional wave in himself, we can pick up that emotions. Yes. So my daughter, because you also asked me how you do it with your own children, my daughter has the emotions filled in, so she makes the atmosphere in the house. So when she's angry, she makes me angry. When she is happy, she makes me happy, like that. And so it's the same with the intuition, so with the spleen. Yes. So I feel my intuition, but when this would be empty, because you said your husband is very intuitive. Yeah. Maybe this is empty with him. I don't know.
I need to know.
So, but when this is empty, you don't feel exactly the intuition by yourself, but you feel the intuition from the other one. So that's also good coaches have, for example, this empty, because they feel what the other needs for intuition. And so... But now when we together, this is already filled in. So, and it's nice because both our head is empty, but today it's full. Yeah. So today we are totally completed together. So it's nice to see like where you make the connection with each other and what... and that's why then you understand also, that's why I like it with that friend and not with that friend.
And I think, for instance, the part about like being empty emotional or making your own waves so important. When I understood this, like for instance, my husband, he's making his own emotional waves and I'm empty usually, and he really does. When he comes home from work and he's stressed, and he doesn't even recognize he's stressed, but I recognize it. And I'm like, and I'm telling him, why are you angry? And he's like, why don't you allow me to be angry or frustrated? I'm like, no, it's like I'm in my harmony right now about emotions. And it's so good to recognize that whatever you're feeling sometimes, or for me, it's not from me. And I can let it go. I'm like, it's not my emotion. I can just,
and that's also what I also have now, because I know it's that with my daughter. I think, okay, this is not for me. I have to step back to make it easy, And when I see, for example, for my son, he has his throat empty and he has his emotions empty. So, and there's also no half of a canal going that way, Sometimes when you have a gate, then the canal is going to the other gate opposite, but it's not make the connection, but then you have a little bit of the energy, but he has nothing. But when he wants to speak about his emotions or he is upset, he cannot talk. And then when he was young, he was so frustrated, like he was almost biting on his fist, like And then I thought, do normal, what are you doing? But now I really understand with human design, there is no canal, so he cannot speak.
He cannot say it, the emotions.
He cannot say it. So now I understand it, and my husband has with my husband it went okay, because then he took the energy from my husband and he could speak better. So, but now my husband died last year, so it was, he became sick, and within 3 weeks he died. So, and it's so strange because also that time when my husband died, I made a penta, so you can make a penta from your family, and then also the date of when he passed away, and that time is for my husband. It was he was totally full. And so it was really okay like that. And in our Penta, it was the moment it changes the life and the energy in our family.
Interesting. Wow. Gives me chills actually when you say that. My
so
God.
It's really strange that it's exactly in that blueprint from all of us. And it changes also the energy because everybody has to make his own spot in the family. You know, where we have to stand now, what we are going to do, who is going to arrange this or that. You have to take also...
You have to redefine the entire family dynamics, yes.
But it was written in our charts already, so that's really strange actually. And also I know like that the Ra Uru Ha he also knew already when he would be pass away.
Oh my God.
So you can do it when you know more about human design. But you know, when you think I know things about human design, then still you know nothing because it's so complicated. Because also what I told you about the book, you think, okay, this is gate number 6, but it's also you have the line. So if you have 6.1 or 6.2 or 6.6, that makes difference. But is it in Sun or is it in Scorpio? That makes a difference. Or not Scorpio, in Mars or in Mercurius, that makes a difference. And it makes also a difference if it stands on the design chart of in the personality. So you can dive deeper and deeper in your gate.
Very deep,
So, but I think it's very interesting, and also that now I know when my son is having difficulties by speaking, that I know it will come from that, and then I also will not say like act normal. No, I know it's difficult for him, and there's nobody who can help him making that gate combination. I cannot help him with that. So.
Do you want to know more about the purpose of your life? Or about your health struggles? Or how you can heal the relationships in your life? Or how your business can thrive better? Get guidance directly from your own soul. You can book me now for an Akashic record reading of your soul. You can book the service on my website, Taowisdom.net. That is so interesting, but then sometimes you ask yourself how much is already just written once you come here, you are born, you incarnate. You know how much is already written of your entire life path. Because even the other day in astrology, I was looking up. You know, you can look up your firstborn and secondborn by the houses. And I was looking up and what that means, like the planets I have, and I was like, oh my God, like almost like it didn't matter who I'm married or who I have children with, I would have had this first and second born anyway, like that, the character. I'm like, this is crazy. You know?
But it's really interesting.
And you were saying something about seeing your fears, because that I have no idea. But how where can you see your fears?
Now, your fears, you can see it in your emotions and in your spleen and in your ashna. And I wrote
these
it
are
down.
3 centers,
I wrote it down. But where is the paper? Did it fall down or what?
We have lots of tools here. We have all kind of papers.
I have all kind of papers, and I wrote it here. I have it here.
We have to
So, in your fears, you have like the 30. So the fear, when you go through the fear, it's like like the sailing, you know. I don't know how you say.
Ceiling,
you go through the ceiling. You think, okay, I'm going to do it. You go through the ceiling, and then next time again, the fear is there, and then it's worse again, and then you have to go that. So then that's what we have to look for, and it's in your emotions, and you have there the 37. So it's the emotional nervousness about tradition. And I don't know if you recognize it, that you get nervous about the traditions. And
I guess sometimes for me it's because I'm coming quite from a traditional setup, and it sometimes felt it's holding me back in life, because I didn't think I was the black sheep in the family, but I was the one who was like, I'm going abroad, you know, I am not coming every Sunday to family dinner or whatever, you know, and all these birthdays I'm just doing my own thing.
Same for me,
And sometimes I felt so much guilt about it.
Yeah.
You know, I'm like, and then I analyzed my astrology chart and was like, okay, I was always meant to live abroad. It's actually better for me to live in another country. It's more beneficial for me. But I had so much guilt about not following these traditions of my family, and yeah. And it's also, and when you are living abroad, then everybody accepted that you're not coming to the birthday. Yes, exactly.
Yeah, same for me. So that's why I also live far away from my family. So then they say, you also live far away. So it's normal you cannot come for the birthday parties.
Yeah,
so then there are lots of fears in your spleen. So it's like the 18, and that's the fear of authority.
Oh yes, I hate authority.
Yeah. And but that's also for making a better world, huh? So the 18 and saying to another one what's going on. Yeah. You have the 32, that's the fear of failure.
Yeah.
I also have the fear of failure, but that's why, And then 50, the fear of responsibility. 44 is the fear of the past. And 57 is the fear of the tomorrow. And 48 is the fear of inadequacy. So, and also the fear of the tomorrow, I also have it. And because it's not that I really have fear, but like when I make an event, then I'm doing every minute by minute, okay, we do this, we do that. So I'm making it down in my draaiboek.
Yeah.
And then, so nothing can go wrong, and then always something goes wrong. But I think that's really the fear of the tomorrow. Or when I was a representative in Turkey, then I had to arrange the buses to go to the airport. And then, Turkey, then when I need a bus at 1 o'clock, I said I need it at 12 o'clock because the bus driver will come at 12:30.
Yes.
So still it's in time, and we could go pick up in time the people to go to the airport. So that's, I think, like how I see the fear of the tomorrow. So that to make all the things. And then in your ashna, there's one gate, and that's gate number 11, and that's the mental anxiety over darkness. So that's what in that 3 centra you will find the gates, and there,
like the mental anxiousness over darkness.
Yeah,
like the fear of darkness.
Yeah,
which is so true, because I'm channeling a lot and I'm reading from the records, but since childhood I have such a fear of dark entities, and I've long thought about, because I can see light entities, I can see beings of light and all kind of spirits.
You're in love.
But I was thinking for a long time, like, should I allow myself to see the dark beings, because I think I shut it down when I was a child. But I have a lot of fear about it.
Yeah, me too.
So, but it's interesting to know about these fears, to just work with it and see how much you want to go there or you don't want to go there. And
I always, as a child, I was so afraid. I couldn't sleep. I feel my heart boom, 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 boom.
Me too. I had the light on all night.
Yeah. So it's really strange, huh? Yeah. And then, so that's a little bit about the fears.
Yeah.
And what also nice is to look at the wortel gate. I don't know the wortel.
Like the root.
The root, yeah.
The root, yeah.
So here you can see which part of you is which fuel you have.
Yeah.
Like the fuel in your life, but also the fuel in your business. And you have the 53, and that's the fuel to begin. So you are very good with beginning stuff. Sometimes people are not going and finishing it, but you are good in the beginning also. And you have the 54, and that's the fuel of drive. So you also do the things. So that's what sometimes people not have, huh? So that's good you have it. Then you have the 38, that's the fuel to fight. And the 39 you have, and that's the fuel to provoke. So I don't know if you do it a little bit sometimes.
Like you mean, like what you meant by saying your truth, right? You provoke some people. Yes, I do that a little bit.
Yeah. So that's also in your chart, in your root. And what also very interesting is, because you are also an entrepreneur, of course, is to check in your personality side the Jupiter part. And that's with you 50.5. And that's the gate we have. So it's on your conscious side on the Jupiter, and it shows your relationship to being an energetic match to financial abundance.
Oh, what does that for me? My God.
Yeah, so I looked it up for you, and it's written like, I connect to abundant money with my desire to change the world for good.
Ah.
So that's what you have to do.
Yes.
And then the money will flow.
Yes, and it's so interesting because I once in the record, they said to me, you need to, like, you have powerful gifts, but you need to put it not for your own good, but for the good of others.
Yeah.
Then that will, guide you.
Yeah.
So
because this is then the money gate.
Yeah.
So it's in Jupiter on the personality side.
Yeah.
And also what the money gate is also interesting, is the 45 in the throat. You don't have it. But that's also called a money gate. And then when you have that, then also it's like, or a good connection, you can work together with somebody else, or money will flow, like it's abundance, and also you feel like there's always enough. It doesn't mean only money, it's also for food or for love or for whatever. So that's for 45, but you don't have like that. But I checked your chart for this year and also for next year.
I know next year is going to be a big year for me, business-wise. It is.
Yeah, it is.
I know.
Oh, you already know. Yeah, but it's also in the chart.
Yeah.
So that's really funny because so I checked it, and for this year, so that's also interesting. You have like the 21 in your heart, so you don't have that gate. But this year, the 21 is open in the gate for the heart, so it makes already the connection to the 45. Like it's uitreiken.
Yeah.
So it's going.
Yeah, you're reaching there. Yeah.
And then so next year, and I sent you the pictures. Then you see the 45 is reaching out to the 21, but then the 21 is gone. But you have the 45. So it is or that you're going to work together with somebody, or you really have a good financial year.
Yeah. It's like, do you know numerology? Like, because I also look like you have a personal year always. And for me, like this year is all about internal reflection, getting to know yourself. And next year is all about growing your business, So it's like, okay.
So be patient, it will come. So that's funny. You have patience, so because when the gate 5 is open, then it's difficult to have patience. But you have patience because that's not open. So that's I think it's very interesting. And and then on the Jupiter you can see what is the money gate, what belongs you for that. So, but then you have to look what gate stands with the Jupiter. So everybody can look that up for herself.
So super interesting.
Yeah.
Do you look most of your information up in the book, or do you also have a website that's really good?
I looked in the book and from the study, and I studied myself, and I also things in the app. So, like for example, what I told you about the are also always special dates. So, for example, the Saturn return you had in 2010.
Yes.
So that's normally like when you meet your partner, or I don't know when you met him.
Yes, to end of 2009.
Ah, okay. So, so then this is the date. Here it's like. December 2010, but it can be a few months before or a few months after it. So and also even a year. But then, for example, you meet your partner, or you get married, or you get your first child, or you get your diploma, or you get your first job. It's something big and nice and like that. But it's a special stepping stone in your life. And then the Uranus opposition. That's with you in May 2026. That's also, or a few months before, or a few months after it. Then there will be, like, the Uranus is always making mess, huh?
Yes.
So it brings everything upside down. For me, it was my fall from the stairs. So in 2015, I fall from the stairs. I broke my shoulder blade. And after that, I couldn't give my yoga lesson anymore.
Yeah.
And everybody said, oh, how horrible for you. And I said, it will be something good, but I don't know at this moment.
Yeah.
But it changed my life and it changed my company, because I thought I have to make my studio fall from the stairs. Proof. So I have to make it fall from the stairs. Foolproof. So that when I fall from the stair next time, my company will go, that I will still get my income. Yeah. So that's why I made my first online program. Yeah. At first I only typed it with one hand, because I couldn't use the other one, because I couldn't stand up by myself and not sit, not lay down, nothing, because when your shoulder blade is broken, your whole back is not working by muscles. I couldn't put my arms up, and so I make everything online first, then I make the videos, and then I sold it to so many people, and I had so many customers all around the world, also Australia, Aruba, Dubai, Africa, everywhere. And I think, this is really amazing, you know. I don't only have to get my information and my knowledge to the people in my studio, but everywhere in all the world. There are no boundaries or grenzen. Yeah. So that's and then it was 2015, and in 2020 I already started earlier in 2016 with helping other yoga teachers, and then in 2020 there were a lot which I could help because then they found out like
you had your
online is maybe interesting. But that's also like the manifesting generator. I always said already for 5 years, it's really interesting, you also must do it, you know, but they didn't believe it, or they did not hear what I was saying. And then they say, oh no, but you get like blessures when you do it online. That's, you cannot have the contact with your clients when you do it online. And I said, but I really have good contact with customers of me in Belgium. And when I'm doing a workshop here in Lelystad, they travel like 2.5 hours to want to see me. This, how is it possible, you know? But they could not believe it or see it. And then when it was 2020, they all throw it all overboard, because then there was no other choice than to do it like that.
But I think you're just before your time, you know? But that's why actually, this was really interesting. I want to talk a little bit more what you're doing with the new ondernemers, entrepreneurs.
New entrepreneurs.
Just at the end of this, because I also think this is so much leading us into the future. Do you have, before we do that, do you have anything more to share about human design or to say about it?
I want to say one thing, because you also have the Chiron return. Ooh. And that's for you in July 2032, so it takes a long time. I send it to you in WhatsApp. And that's also the time the new energy will kick in for you. So it's around when you will be 50. So 3 years before you will be 50 and 3 years after you're 50, so that's 6 years. You will like it's like turning time. So you they say ook it's the overgang, the menopause. So it's also the overgang. You go to a different way, a different energy, and you cannot do it in one night. So you need like 6 years for it. But at this moment, like 21 July 2032, then the new energy is kicking in.
And it does align a lot with the dates, especially also the 2026, because in my records they told me in 25, you know, there's something happening in my life that will really shake it up a little bit, like something happening that's different than what is now. So that aligns with the 26, you know, the March or May 26,
And it looks like for people from outside, and also maybe for you, it will be like really devastating. But know that it has to be done, because you will be stronger from it. Just so same like I was falling down from the stairs, but many people said like, oh, at that moment a dear one passed away, or at that moment I got divorced, or I get fired from my job, you know. So it's something that it's really terrible, but it makes you think like, what's really important in life, actually. So it will get you back on track.
Yeah.
But I think that the most people who have burnout, they do the things that they are not made up for.
Yes, yeah.
And so they do the things and they work from their centers, which is empty. So it will cost them lots of energy to do it, and willpower. And when they do the things they love, and it will be in flow, it will be so much easier.
Yes. And that's such a easy advice, actually. Just do the things you love, you know. And then people come with all that, but it's not possible.
It's not possible because also same with me. I was working at a verzekering company, so assurance, and then I thought, I want to go to Turkey. And everybody said, yeah, but you have a good job, and what do you want to do there? You cannot earn money because it's a poor country. But I said, I don't care. I really get crazy here in this office. And then at 12 o'clock we do a walk outside to be in the open air and to eat our lunch. And I thought, I want to go to Turkey. So then I quit my job, and I didn't have another job in Turkey, but I thought, I will see. And then I got the job in Ankara, in Alanya. But I really wanted to go to Marmaris because I really like that place.
Yeah.
And then suddenly somebody called me like, oh, we have a place in Marmaris, and we heard you were looking for it, because I went to the vakantiebeurs in Utrecht, and I went to all the travel companies like, do you need somebody for Marmaris? Because I want to go to Marmaris. And they said, do you have a boyfriend over there? I said, no, but I like Marmaris. So it was really funny. So then they needed somebody, and then they called me. So, and then I said to the people from Alanya, okay, I'm not coming because I can't go to Marmaris. So, and I always had like that, and I think that's really the manifesting generator. Also, that I think like, oh, I want to work at this school, and then maybe also my children can be at this school. And then I was looking to the school in my neighborhood, and finally I got a job in the school in the neighborhood at the back of me. It was a new school, so it was a new houses were built.
Yes.
So the school was also growing, and I could stay there, and my children also went there at school. And finally, it was also same like with the bicycle. If I go in my own direction or in the other part of Lelystad. So I think that's already the manifesting generator. So when I want to do something, it will actually always work out. But I have to feel it from inside that that's the right way.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
you guys, you need to connect to your feelings.
Feelings and love, because you are for the love.
I'm here for the love.
Yeah, and when people want to know more about human design, I also do the human design readings, and I also have a program, the Afstem Challenge, but that's in Dutch, and then they can find out things about their own design, and then I will help them with it, how they can do it, but that's in Dutch.
Yes, but for the listeners who are in the Netherlands, you're welcome. Yeah. You're more than welcome.
So that, and I think, and some people said, do you also look every day what will bring? Now, sometimes I look like, how it will be like this, and what will it be for me? And then I can see at the end of the day, like, how did I feel? So how is it when today there's this gate open and I have this gate, so together we make a channel, so then another centrum is defined, what is others not defined. How do I feel myself that day? So then you know better how to go with the waves of the planet.
Yes.
But it's not that I do it all the time, you know. So it's nice when you know more about yourself, I think, because then you can more accept yourself. Because we're always looking like what we're not good at.
Yes, that's so true. Yeah, and that's actually what I loved with human design, is that it gives you all even in the app I have, it doesn't call it gates, it calls it gifts. Yeah. And the way it describes it really brings out all the positive sides, and I love that so much. Yeah. Because even with astrology, we look at this crazy planet. I have Pluto here. Yeah. This of that. But human design is just like, these are all the gifts you're having.
Yeah.
And this is what you can really bring forward into this world.
Yeah. And that's exactly what's also written in the incarnation cross, in your gene keys. And you can omarm it. You
can hug it.
And be happy with yourself and with your gifts. And that when you are the cell of the heart, do the heart. But when you're cell of the lungs, do the lungs. And when you're the cell of the dharma, which I forget again, then that's your job, So do the job what you're here for. And that's also like the manifestors putting the things they want to do, and then the manifesting can help. Generators are the working bees. The projectors will lead the generators, and the reflectors will say, hey, this goes wrong, that goes wrong, or that we can do better, So when everybody has his part and is doing here what he's done from the blueprint, then really we will have a better world.
Yes, we'll live in more harmony. And more happiness.
The new world. Yeah.
Hopefully. So what are you doing with the entrepreneurs for the new world?
Now, I help them to find out who they are, and also with human design. And I also have like a coaching tool here for, you are here in the middle of toys. Yes. So toys and little animals and like symbolic things. And they put it in a table. It's like kind of a systemic work of spell therapy like that. And every symbol has its own reason and why you put it or in the middle or in the corner or like that. So then also you know more from your unconsciousness. It will show on the table in the sand. It's like a sand. As I always said, we have to play in the sand. So that and so when you find out what you're here to do from your unconsciousness, then you can make your company much better. And I help them with making online courses.
Yeah, and you also bring people together, right? In person, you had a big event.
Yeah, I had in June an event, and I also have a community, the New World Entrepreneurs Community, also for network, but also that they share their gift, what they're good at. So I had one lady, she's making like the websites, and she's telling everything about websites and SEO. And I had another one, she was from the Kundalini teacher, and she knows really a lot of the Akara numerology, also very interesting. So she gives an online workshop about that. So everybody is explaining things where he's good at. So one lady who makes like card decks.
Yes.
So and I think, and also for the connection, to work together, because we have to do it together.
Yes. Yeah, that's also what I feel, really. We have to do it together to create something different into this world.
Yeah.
And it's nice that these platforms are coming up. And then in a couple of years, Corine, we will have a massive platform, because it's finally people are, we need to do it together.
Yeah, exactly. So that's also like, and to have the community, it's really difficult, I think. So,
but it makes a huge difference. Like, I met a lot of what I feel people that I know for lifetimes in Cambodia when I went to Panama, and we are now having a community. We support each other all the time, and it feels so good. Just like
it is very good, and but I also think like now we are in a period that everything is okay, so people think it's okay, everything is over, we are not have the measures anymore, so but I think when there will be problems, then it's very nice to come together again and to discuss like, okay, what can we do now? Because there's always a way, you have to be creative. And also when we had the lockdown, I also helped them a lot, like what can you do? You can make an appointment at the shop to sit on the couch before you want to buy the couch. You had them that make the appointments. And so you can make appointments that people can sit for 1 hour on that meditation pillow to feel how the meditation pillow sits. So you don't give the lesson, you let them sit on the meditation pillow, for example, like that. So there's always a way to do your yoga class.
Yes.
Or to make your coach, practice or massage. It's always a way.
And we are so creative beings, and it's good to come together, to actually bring that creativity together, to see how, in whatever circumstances there are on the outside, how can we create?
Yeah, to help each other.
Yeah, and how to help each other. Yeah. Nice, Corine. Thanks so much.
No, you're welcome. Thank you for coming.
And I will link your website as well in the show notes, so people can find you, can look up your online courses, your network as well. Yeah, everything you're doing.
Okay.
Amazing stuff you're putting forward into this world.
Yeah.
And then as well, as I said, links to the charts for your human design, so if you're curious, you can get into it.
Yeah, it's really very interesting.
Yes, and you can also get a reading with Corine, right? Because you do it also online, obviously.
Yeah, I do it online, so people send me the details, and then I will make audio. So it almost takes like an hour, and then I explain everything, and I will send like the charts and the gene keys and the most important stuff. I will send it. Yes.
Thanks so much.
Yeah, you're welcome. Thank you. Ja, dat was ik over Human Design in mijn beste Engels. Ik hoop dat je genoten hebt. Ik vond het superleuk dat ik geïnterviewd werd door Sabine. Mocht het zijn, als je meer wil weten over haar of over de Taowisdom podcast, check dan de show notes pagina www.corinevanzoelen.nl/podcast-204. Mocht het zijn, als je meer wil weten over Human Design, weet dan dat je op mijn site corinevanzoelen.nl onder werken met mij vind je de knop over een Human Design reading. En als je denkt, ik wil het gewoon zelf een beetje ontdekken, dan heb ik een online programma gemaakt en dat is www.afstemchallenge.nl. Dankjewel voor het luisteren en graag tot een volgende keer.